Not a ton of new news today about the Activision Blizzard suit, but today I wanted to talk about the report from DealReporter that dives into some of the things that have been going on with the case and some things that we've discovered and the reasons why Sony might not like some of the deals being proposed to them. Let's dive in right now. So DealReporter talks a little bit about Microsoft's pledge. This is from February 20th, so it's a little bit dated, but I'm just getting to it now. Anyway, the software giant's 10-year pledge to retain access to Call of Duty to Microsoft's platform competitors, most notably Sony's PlayStation, will likely form the basis of the remedy proposal that Microsoft intends to make to the European Commission, said one of the sources. Now, these people are talking about what they are likely going to be proposing to the European Commission, not the CMA, and how that commission might react to it. Now, likely what will happen is they'll watch it for several months and make sure that everything's going good, and then fully sign off on it. But basically, once they get past that roadblock, they're going to be likely quite good to go from that point forward. In December, Microsoft President Brad Smith said that it would offer equal access to Call of Duty to Sony, Nintendo, and Valve Steam for a period of 10 years. The 10-year pledge would mean parity on content, features, quality, playability, as well as on pricing, said Microsoft Deputy General Rima Alayli in a statement. The EC generally market test remedies with third parties after submission. So they'll allow it to go to market, see what happens after it's been submitted. Continuing on, though, Microsoft's parity commitment could be very difficult to encode in a contract and enforce, said the third source. As it currently stands, Sony works with Activision from an early date to ensure that its controller is not just responsive, but offers one of the best console player experiences, the source noted. Now, Sony has a lot of exclusivity agreements with Activision right now. They get a little bit better of a cut in terms of revenue because PlayStation has such a big market. They have a unique controller versus Xbox, so they work directly with Activision to make sure their controller is the best controller experience, according to this article. And as they'll get into in just a second, one of the main reasons that Sony may not want to work with Microsoft on this deal is because they might not get as much revenue. Let's just continue on here anyway. Another source of concern could stem from the fact that Sony's current contracts with Activision are on terms that are better than parity, noted Joost Rietveld, associate professor at University College London School of Management and a gaming industry specialist. Microsoft disclosed in its CMA filing that under Sony's current exclusivity contract with Activision, Call of Duty would be exclusive to PlayStation for a period of 30 days, while one version of the game was exclusive for a period of 1 year. Now, if you rewind, that's actually a really strong argument to make towards the CMA because under the current standing, the competition is definitely in Sony's favor. They talked about it on the forums. I believe it was Modern Warfare 2, the remaster, that was exclusive to PlayStation for 30 days. And there was some DLC that was exclusive for a year on the PlayStation platform. So what that means is that Sony is getting beneficial treatment in the Call of Duty Activision deal, and things would be much more neutral under Microsoft, given the fact that they'll allow PlayStation to have parity releases and such. Was there anything else there? Yeah, so that's all via DealReporter. It's really interesting when you dive into it because when you look at the figures, Sony's actually had it really good with Activision for a long time, and the reason they're so against this is because they would have to figure out new ways to approach marketing Call of Duty. We saw all the exclusivity agreements when the betas launched and such, right? I think that doesn't happen anymore. And that has Sony a little bit nervous. Oh, this third party won't give us special treatment anymore. Everybody's going to be on the same playing field. Well, we're going to miss that. Now, before I continue on any further, if you watched this far, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that bell to know when my content goes live. I do appreciate it. The subscribe button's not working. What's going on here? What's going on, subscribe button? Are you asleep? There it is. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Continuing on there to quote 3. Sony is likely to take the view that the contract on offer by Microsoft results in diminished revenues for PlayStation, leaving it unable to put investments into its own games, said the third source. It would be forced to offer its PlayStation Plus subscription service at a higher price than Game Pass, they noted. No, they wouldn't be forced to do anything. They're one of the most profitable companies in the world. There's no reason that they would be forced to do that. That's just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. But that's the argument that they're going to make to the CMA and to the EC, right? Because it makes them look like they're in a weaker position than they actually are. And what else was noted there? Yeah, so they're concerned about decreased revenues to the PlayStation brand. The fact of the matter is, this will be offered on equal terms to both parties, to both Sony and Xbox. And Xbox has a wider ecosystem. And like I always said, this will force Sony to look at what they offer their customers. And likely, the fact that it's harder for Sony means it's going to be more beneficial to their customers because they're going to have to compete with Microsoft, right? So it's better for Microsoft consumers and it's better for PlayStation consumers because PlayStation needs to find a way to sweeten the deal for their platform in other interesting ways. As for Microsoft, it takes the view that the 10-year remedy covers access to Call of Duty on its subscription service, PlayStation Play. I don't know why they called it that, and will offer a much better revenue split than Sony's existing contract with Activision, said the first and a fourth source familiar. It would likely result in hundreds of millions of windfall revenues for SIE, the first source said. So 10-year remedy covers access to Call of Duty on its subscription service and will offer a much better revenue split than Sony's existing contract with Activision. So Microsoft is arguing that they're going to get a better deal from Microsoft than the one they currently have with Activision so that they could actually end up walking away making more money at the end of the day. And finally, as said last week in its remedy notice, the CMA said that Activision Microsoft did appear to be a suitable case for behavioral remedies, noting that they had been informed of Microsoft proposed contractual agreements. So that was via DealReporter, via ITIS over on ResetEra. Here's what ITIS had to say about these notes really quick. So it does include some new info about the negotiations between Microsoft and Sony. Some suggestions are obviously wrong now that we know about the provisional approval by the EC, but it's an interesting read about some of the topics that are going to be discussed during the next few weeks. Interesting that DealReporter believes that COD remedy includes PlayStation Plus. We knew that Microsoft already offered that option to the FTC back in December. The article sounds like Sony is not happy with COD being available on their subscription service because it would diminish their revenues. And that's the thing. Sony doesn't want stuff on their subscription service because they feel like they get less money. They can get more money if they charge the full price at $70, which Microsoft will also be charging $70 to their customers. They do not want things on their subscription service. I feel like Microsoft has the philosophy that if Game Pass continues to grow, and it's been growing quite well, that eventually they'll hit that tipping point where it's even more profitable than it already is right now, even though there's been sort of some conflicting reports with Phil Spencer saying that it's not profitable on the one hand, and then it's sustainable, and I'll have to dive into that in a separate video. But that's the long and the short of what happened on that DealReporter thing, and I just wanted to discuss it really quick. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this far, I hope I'm keeping you up to date and you like my content. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when it goes live. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you to the members. So check this out. In addition to hitting 100,000 subscribers, we also hit 50 members. Rip Floyd, who was like 2 years a member, but Connor, Geezer, Charles, Derek, Assassin, a lot of those people over on the one side, over on this side, these people have been supporting the channel for a very long time. So thank you to all of them. And the newer group, thank you for joining or becoming a member. I really appreciate it. If you want to become a member, hit that join button right down there. Want to talk about the channel for a second. A lot of people talked about the Florian Mueller interview I did and how they didn't like how I posted it. If you want to leave your comments below, that's fine. I might make some adjustments next time I do an interview like that, but my goal is to do more of those. So consider it growing pains. It wasn't supposed to be part of the 100,000 subscriber thing. I plan on making a video for that later. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, if you didn't like that, I consider it a learning lesson, and I'll try and figure out a better cadence for release next time. And if you did like it, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Before I go, if you want to check that out, I have now posted the full interview, so you can watch start to finish. It's about 55 minutes long. He has some very interesting insights, and I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.